Evan Nierman, the best-selling author of Crisis Averted and CEO of Red Banyan, is joining us now. And Evan, let's talk about social media and kids. That's your expertise. Where do we even start, though, when it comes to averting crisis, when it comes to social media?
It's really tough because our kids are living in a hyper-connected digital world, and there is no possible way for a parent to know with certainty what our kids are up to at any point in time. And what a lot of parents don't understand is that there is tremendous danger in the kids having access to the phone, and the things that they do or say now as children can have long-term implications for the rest of their lives even.
Yeah, what are some ways that students can then protect themselves from those long-term consequences?
Well, it's actually quite simple. It's a complicated set of challenges, but the solution is really simple. And that is, if parents will teach their kids two practices when it comes to social media: share with care and post with purpose. Take care of what you're revealing, make sure you're not giving personal information, and post with purpose, meaning if there's not a greater good that comes from that post, think twice before you hit send. Share with care, post with purpose, and that will eliminate about 99.9% of the problems that kids run into.
Can you give me some examples of situations where kids and teens have posted items they shouldn't have? What do parents need to look out for, and what kind of discussion do they need to be having?
Well, it's a discussion that needs to take place, just like parents teach their kids about the danger of strangers. They talk about the dangers of drugs or not protecting your body or not knowing your boundaries. Having that conversation about social media safety, I would argue, is just as important. Just within the last couple of weeks, we've been helping a number of families who have been dealing with the consequences of kids using social media in the wrong way, posting naked pictures of themselves, which then inevitably get shared. And in one instance, we've actually had one of our clients, his child was arrested and charged with possession and distribution of child pornography for taking an unclothed picture of himself. So the consequences can be very, very real, and the kids don't even understand the risks that they're taking when they turn that camera on themselves.
Yeah, so what can parents do if that does happen to their child? I'm sure in the moment it's panic. What do you do if this happens to your kid?
Well, it's very tough. A lot of times what the children need are, in addition to good legal counsel, which is critical, also there is a need oftentimes for help from a professional, because unfortunately one of the implications of these kinds of acts is the kids get shamed or bullied at school, and it can lead to some really long-term psychological damage. So it's important, if your child does find himself or herself in this situation, it's to get good legal advice to make sure, first and foremost, that you can protect them from a legal perspective, but then also consider getting psychological help as well, getting a counselor involved, and working to change the behaviors for the long term.
And my last question for you, Evan, how soon should this conversation happen? What age group should parents start talking to their kids?
It's a conversation that should happen yesterday. It should happen today. It should happen tomorrow. We as parents literally need to be raising this issue with our kids on a weekly basis. Even at the risk of our kids telling us we're annoying them and we're sounding like a broken record, it's really critical that we do this. And I would recommend that conversations with kids start at the earliest age that you think it's appropriate for your kid. So for some kids, it could be the later stages of grammar school. Other kids, it's middle school. But it's a conversation that needs to be had because the risks are too great from not having it.
If you have a phone and the internet, have the conversation. Makes sense. Evan, thank you so much for alerting us to this, and I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.